The sun was sinking low over the Texas plains, turning the tall grass gold as Caleb Walker rode into the small frontier town of Red Willow. Dust clung to his boots, and his wide-brimmed hat cast a shadow over eyes that had seen too many lonely miles. He'd come to town for supplies and maybe a little peace, not knowing his life was about to change. Red Willow was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, and strangers were noticed fast. The general store bell jingled as Caleb stepped inside. Shelves were lined with flour sacks, canned beans, bolts of cloth, and jars of penny candy. Behind the counter stood old Mr. Turner, squinting as he recognized the tall rancher. "Well, if it ain't Caleb Walker," Turner said. "Back from the high ridge already?" "Needed supplies," Caleb replied. "And maybe a new start." Turner raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Outside, a small crowd had gathered near the water trough. Caleb glanced through the window and saw a young woman standing alone. Her dress was simple, her hair braided neatly down her back. She looked nervous, clutching a small bundle to her chest. A few rough-looking men lingered nearby, whispering and laughing. Caleb's jaw tightened. He finished his purchase quickly and stepped outside. One of the men sneered at the girl. "What you doing in our town, girl? Don't look like you belong here." She lifted her chin, her voice trembling but steady. "I'm looking for work, honest work." The man laughed. "Ain't nobody hiring your kind." Caleb stepped between them. "That's enough." The men turned, surprised to see the tall cowboy blocking their view. "Mind your business, Walker," one muttered. "My business is stopping bullies," Caleb said calmly. His hand rested near his belt, not threatening, just ready. The men backed off, grumbling. When they were gone, Caleb turned to the girl. "You all right?" She nodded. "Thank you, sir. I'm Caleb," he said. "You got a name?" "Lena," she replied softly. "Lena Morales." Caleb noticed the weariness in her eyes, the kind that came from traveling too far with too little. "You hungry?" She hesitated, then nodded. He bought her a sandwich from the cafe across the street. They sat at a small table by the window. "I came from New Mexico," Lena said. "My parents passed, and I've been moving from town to town. Folks don't give me much of a chance." Caleb frowned. "That ain't right." She gave a small, sad smile. "I ain't white, sir, but I can satisfy," she said quietly, meaning she could work hard, do any job, prove her worth. Caleb's eyes softened. "You don't gotta prove nothing like that. You deserve respect same as anyone." She looked surprised, then relieved. No one had said that to her in a long time. Caleb owned a ranch about 10 miles outside town. He needed help, especially after losing his hired hands to better-paying jobs. "I could use someone to help around my place," he offered. "Cooking, cleaning, tending chickens. I'll pay fair." Lena's eyes widened. "You'd really give me a chance?" "Course I would," Caleb said. "If you want it." She nodded eagerly. "I do." They rode out together the next morning in Caleb's wagon. The ranch wasn't fancy, just a sturdy house, a barn, and open land stretching to the horizon. Lena stepped down and took it all in, her face glowing with hope. The first weeks were quiet but meaningful. Lena worked hard, waking early to cook breakfast, tending the garden, and keeping the house spotless. Caleb fixed fences, rode herd, and handled business in town. In the evenings, they'd sit on the porch, watching the sunset, talking about their lives. Caleb learned Lena loved to sing softly while she worked. Her voice was gentle and sad, yet comforting. She told him stories of her mother teaching her recipes and her father teaching her to be strong. Caleb shared memories of his late wife, Mary, who had passed from illness years before, leaving him lonely. One night, a storm rolled in. Thunder cracked across the sky. Lena was afraid, her hands shaking as lightning flashed. "It's all right," Caleb said gently. "You're safe here." She smiled faintly. "Thank you, Caleb." As days turned into months, their bond grew. It wasn't rushed or forced. It was built on kindness, trust, and quiet understanding. Trouble came when Caleb took Lena into town one afternoon. Whispers followed them. Some folks stared, others muttered. One man spat near their feet. "Ain't right, Walker, bringing her here." Caleb's voice was firm. "She works for me. Treat her with respect." Lena's shoulders slumped. "Maybe I should stay back at the ranch." Caleb shook his head. "You ain't hiding from nobody. You belong wherever you choose. That night, Lena cried quietly in her room. Caleb stood outside her door, unsure what to say. Finally, he knocked softly. Lena, yes, you ain't alone here, he said. People fear what they don't understand. But you got a home now. She opened the door, eyes red. Why are you so kind to me? Caleb hesitated. Because I care about you. The words hung in the air. Lena's breath caught. She'd never heard anyone say that before, not like this. From that moment, things changed. Their glances lingered longer. Their conversations grew deeper. One evening, while fixing a broken fence together, Caleb slipped and twisted his ankle. Lena rushed to his side. Don't move, she said, helping him back to the house. She cleaned his wound, her hands gentle. You're too good to me, he murmured. So are you to me, she replied. Weeks later, Caleb invited Lena to sit with him on the porch after dinner. The stars were bright, the air cool. I've been thinking, he said. About us. Lena's heart pounded. Me too. I don't see you as just someone I hired, Caleb continued. You're my partner, my friend, and, more than that. Tears filled her eyes. Caleb, I never thought someone like you would want someone like me. He took her hands. You ain't someone like you. You're Lena, and you're everything I didn't know I needed. She whispered, are you sure? He smiled. I'm sure. They didn't kiss right away. They just sat there, holding hands, letting the truth settle in. Not everyone approved. Word spread fast. Some neighbors warned Caleb he'd lose business, friends, respect. He listened quietly, then shook his head. I ain't living my life for other folks' comfort, he said. I'm living it for what's right. One morning, Caleb rode into town and bought a simple gold ring. When he returned, he found Lena in the garden, dirt on her hands, humming softly. Lena, he said, heart pounding. Will you marry me? She froze, then turned, eyes wide. Marry you. He knelt down. I ain't rich. I ain't perfect. But I promise to love you, protect you, and stand by you, no matter what. Tears streamed down her face. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I will. They embraced, laughing and crying at the same time. The wedding was small. A few kind neighbors came. Mr. Turner from the store even showed up with a gift basket. Some townsfolk stayed away, but Caleb didn't care. Lena wore a simple white dress she'd sewn herself. Caleb wore his best suit. When they said their vows, their voices were steady and strong. I take you as my wife, Caleb said. I take you as my husband, Lena replied. When they kissed, it wasn't for show. It was for love, real and deep. Life wasn't suddenly perfect. They still faced stares, whispers, and hard days. But they faced them together. Lena turned the ranch into a warm, joyful home. Caleb built her a bigger garden. They laughed, argued, made up, and grew stronger every year. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching their children play in the yard, Lena rested her head on Caleb's shoulder. Do you ever regret choosing me? She asked softly. He kissed her forehead. Not for 1 second. She smiled. I used to think I wasn't enough. You always were, he said. The world just needed time to catch up.